Hello, lovely. Um, I'm in what I call my secret garden. I love it here. Look, I'll just show you. It's got this beautiful willow and this pond. I'll show you like this. And then behind me, this group of trees here. Do you believe that you can communicate with trees? Because if you had said that to me years ago, I would never have believed you. But honestly, these trees speak to me, no joke. I've had a recent experience with them where I was here and I was meditating, and these trees over here, these ones, there's like a group of them. You can't really tell here, it just looks like loads, but there's a group here. And I had the knowing that someone was going to be chopping them down. Like, all the trees and the bushes here were telling me someone's going to be, oh sorry if my finger was just over the speaker and you couldn't hear me, but yeah, the trees were telling me that someone was going to chop them down, and I was like, what? No one ever comes here. That's ridiculous. Like, how silly. And then I didn't come here for a while, and then the next time I came here, all the trees, all from around here, there was trees and bushes all the way around, they'd all been chopped down. And I was like, whoa, okay, so they are going to be chopped down. And these trees over there were giving me this sense of urgency. Whoa, that's some sort of, I don't know what's going on there, but like the pheasants are, that's pheasants. Okay, sorry about that. Interrupted by pheasants, and then all the fish jumped out the water. Like, the pheasants went mental, and then all the fish just jumped out the water. Anyway, so the trees, back to the trees. I had this sense of urgency, like, we're going to be chopped down. Like, you need to tell the person who's doing this to stop. Anyway, it turned out to be this gardener who I had runnings into back in last summer, which is really funny because I'm not meant to come in here because it's actually private land, but no one ever comes in here, and I just really connect with the land here, so I kind of come here. And anyway, one time I had the guidance to not come in but to sit outside. There's like a barbed wire fence where I come in, so I was sunbathing out there, and like no one is ever around here, and I was sunbathing topless. And then this gardener was in here in the secret garden, and he saw me and he asked me if I'd been in here. And the thing is, I had been in here and I'd left 3 apples for the deer, and he'd clearly seen the apples. He was like, have you been in here? And I was like, no, because I thought I was going to be told off. I was such a child. It was so funny. I was like, no. And I was like, yes, I have been in there. I put the apples in there for the deer. He was like, oh, okay, because apparently someone had been coming in here, killing the fish and leaving the fish on the side. Like, how ridiculous. And they know it wasn't an animal or anything. It was like they'd fished the fish and left them on the side. And I was like, no, I would never do anything like that. I'm vegan. Anyway, that was really funny because obviously I was topless and I just grabbed my cardigan and was like, held it over me. Anyway, it was him. So he's the gardener that works here, and they're like sort of renovating it again. He's been doing a lot of work here, and I was like, oh my gosh, are you gonna, so that was back in the summer, and then in the autumn the trees were telling me this. And so I was like, oh, okay. So next time I came here, he was here, and I was like, are you planning on chopping the trees? And he was like, yeah. And he said that any ones that are dead at the roots he'll be chopping down, and he was planning on chopping some of those down to make some light to open up everywhere so that all the flowers would grow, because the person who owns the land, her late husband, planted loads of flowers and stuff, and they haven't grown because it's been so overgrown and the trees have blocked the light and whatnot. It's just like the tree population has grown. And I was like, well, and I was like, oh, these trees don't want to be chopped down. And I told him my experience. He must have thought I was absolutely mental, balmy. But I said to him, look, these trees don't want to be chopped down. And then I left and I thought, right, mission accomplished. But then the trees were like, no, you need to tell him you don't want him to chop the trees down, because otherwise it just sounds crazy. So I came back the next day and I told him that. And he was like, okay, I won't chop those ones down. So they're still here. I know it sounds insane, but that is what happened. And every time I come here, I always see deer and stag and birds of prey and cormorants and rabbits and just all the nature, all the wildlife. And I feel like this place is enchanted, and I feel like if there are such things as fairies and other dimensional beings, that they definitely are here. It's very, very peaceful. There's just a really high vibe here, and like every time I come here I don't feel like I'm alone. Like I feel like the trees are listening to me and looking after me and watching and observing what's happening. Like I feel like, I don't know, I can just sense like consciousness here and different forms of it, even though I can't see necessarily. So yeah, I've just come here. I can't really remember why I'm telling you this story, really. Just to share with you my little place of tranquility and peace and calm, and like being by a body of water, even if it's not huge. And actually there's a little boat in there, and I've been in that boat on the water with the gardener dude, and it was just so good. Like my whole body just really relaxed, and I could just, like, there's something magical about, I know it doesn't look like magical water, but there's just something about this place and this willow tree. I really want to plant my willow tree here, so it may still be on YouTube, my willow tree experience. Very similar situation where a willow tree spoke to me, and I took cuttings of that tree, and I have a miniature willow tree that I've had for years, and I've been looking for somewhere to plant it. And since we've been back in the UK, this feels like a really, really good place to plant it. And I'm going to take another cutting from the miniature tree that I have and grow another one and take that wherever we end up, you know, like one day when we have my dream home, I guess. But yeah, this willow tree can have a friend. I don't know where I'm going to plant it. Maybe here. I don't know. But I feel like it's a really good place, and the gardener said I can plant it here, so that's good. Anyway, I'm going to just chill and listen and observe all the sounds and the energy here, and I will see you all soon. See you in my next video. Maybe I'll do another one in a minute, depending if I feel inspired.